What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cheeky Garage. Tommy here, and today I'm finally going to finish the Blazer tank install on my 93 S10 Gumby. Alright, I'm finally going to address the filler neck on this freaking Blazer tank. Originally, I wanted to try to come up and over and then up and kind of come up along the inside of the bed rail. But that's too kind of convoluted. Just having 90s and then flats and all that would not make good flow for gasoline. I have a feeling it would be way more work than it's worth, and I have a feeling that the pump would just want to kick off at all times because of gas, not really having a smooth route down into the tank. So I have decided I'm gonna just make a tiny little filler neck right here, terminate underneath the bed floor, and then make a little access door. So to start, I took my angle finder, set it on my rear cross member. We're at, call it 0 degrees. That says a 1/4 of a degree there. We put it on our gas tank here. That's kind of bubbly. Let's go on here. We're between 59.7, so call that 59.9, so call that 60 degrees. We need to make a 60-degree bend off of the tank up as short as we can. So I'm accomplishing that with pie cuts. This is 2-inch sanitary stainless that I just brought from work. I cut it at the shop on the horizontal bandsaw. I do not know what the center line radius is of all these pieces. I just kind of pulled them through the saw and cut them. But I knew I needed a 0 degree or 90 degree, however you want to look at it, cut on the end that mates to the tank, and then the end that will mate to our gas cap bung. So 60 degrees. That was really easy math. I knew I needed 0 here. I didn't want to do an angle directly from the tank. I wanted a 90 degree, flat circle, not an oval. So we're at 0, 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 50 degrees, 60 degrees, and then we're square cut again. So there's us a pretty tight 60-degree elbow, essentially. And we're going to cap it. Probably have to cut this guy down. This is a piece I bought from Summit, from Tanks Inc. I liked it initially because I saw how low profile the gas cap was, but then I also noticed that it's like my 2017 Colorado. Like, you don't have to take the gas cap off. The Colorado doesn't have a gas cap, but it is a screw-on cap. Holy shit. Ah. Look at that. That's going to make life a lot better. I did not know that was threaded. The gas cap itself comes out, so it's still a threaded gas cap, but you can just stick the gas pump in it. And since I'm going to run this underneath the bed floor, I'm going to have a hole. I'm going to have to cut a hole in the bed floor, and even as D-bird as you can get it, it's still kind of reaching down through it is an opportunity to kind of slice your knuckles up, reaching down to take a gas cap off. So this way I can just take the gas pump, stick it in there, ain't got to reach down between the sheet metal. So this is just learned that. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I have this level sitting across the frame rails to simulate the structural ribbing underneath the bed floor. This level is about an 1/8 inch taller than the structural ribbing of the bed floor, so keep that in mind during this demonstration. I'm just going to kind of half-ass throw these pieces up here. We will kind of mock up our 60-degree pie cut elbow. Obviously this isn't going to be perfect first time here, just holding it. But you can see that's about flush there. Alright. So we need to be an 1/8 under, and we're about 3/8 under. Roughly. I mean, the pie cuts aren't perfect right here. I got to get them all tacked up real nice. But this is going to work out. It should work out like a dream. So, and finally put this whole Blazer tank swap to rest. So, see you in just a minute with some freshly welded parts. Alright, so I took a Dremel with a little hard rock rotary tool, you know, bit on the end of it, and I actually cleaned out the fine, you know, the fine threads, the MPT threads that the old weld bung, that piece I, just figured out was threaded into, and I ground those threads down so that this my end piece of my pie cut actually sits in there down to that to that ledge. Obviously I did not, I made sure not to mess up the threads for the gas cap itself, but this is actually working out really, really nice. This is now, instead of, it used to be a threaded adapter, now it is, essentially a weld adapter, and that actually bought me about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch more space from the bottom of the bed floor by being able to press that in there. So that's that. Alright, there it is. My little pie cut 60-degree elbow. Still hot as all get out. About to turn this fan on and cool it off. Okay, while I'm waiting on my pie cut elbow to cool, and that fan, it's probably cool by now, I went ahead and did my fuel pump on the sender. So it's a Walbro 255. Bought it as a kit from Summit, and a Spectra branded fuel sender. I bought the sender by itself, no pump, and I bought the sender for a 1993 S10 Blazer. So it has the threaded, I can't remember the threads, the thread pitches off the top of my head. I'll put links to these fittings in the description as well. But I believe the fittings are Earl's adapters to -6AN on pressure and return. The Walbro pump, it's just sitting in here kind of like factory. I put the sound deadener sleeve that came with the sender around the pump. I did have to trim it a little bit because of the little rubber sock around the bottom comes up on the pump, and I just used the factory supplied stuff for the Spectra pump. I was more impressed with the hose and the clamps. It's got the ear style clamps instead of the screw style hose clamps. So I mean, it's in there real solid. Other than that, no crimping or soldering or anything, which was great since that's going to be submerged in gasoline. The Spectra sender came with this harness already plugged in here, and to this connector here. This connector here does not fit to the Walbro pump, but the Walbro pump comes with this small harness here, and it plugs into there, and then it plugs into the Spectra harness perfectly fine. So I mean, honestly, and then I used the sock that came with the Walbro, but really putting this thing on, it was about as difficult as changing out a fuel pump would have been anyway in a 93 S10 Blazer. So that's that, and it's ready to go. All right, boys and girls, I finally have this damn thing tacked in place to the tank. And I know it was just a second for you guys, but it's been about a week for me, and I'll show you why. But before I do, I want to show you the end fit up. So I left about a 1/2 inch sticking out of the little stubby coming off of the tank. I did not the first time, and I'll show you why that was a huge mistake. Yes, this is the second brand new tank that I had to buy for this project, but I'll get to that in a second. I ended up taking my last piece of pie here and cutting about a 1/2 inch off of it, so to retain that same geometry. And I also decided, I went ahead and cut these guys off. They were, it's over there, 2 inch by 2 inch square tube. It is now 2 inch by 1 inch rectangle tube, and that is to gain better clearance against that little pinch seam there. So we are super good there. Well, I can't get my, there you go. That was about the only part of the truck fab that I wasn't still happy with, so I got that addressed. And let me show you what not to do with one of these aftermarket tanks. Okay, so here's the tank that was in the truck earlier in the video. Still got the tape on it and everything. And I don't really know if you can see that in the camera too good, but it's kind of golden color around here. It's a steel tank. It was a steel factory filler that went in there, and it was all painted gray. And all I did was I cut it off and ground it down, got a nice tight fit up. Super pumped about that. And then I took a cut brush on an angle grinder, knocked the paint down, and as I was doing that, it started revealing kind of this coppery bronzy color. And I was trying to stay optimistic. I was like, I'm sure that's not what I actually think it is. And I tried to weld that elbow on there, and things did not go well. The filler, as it goes through, like, you can still feel a little bit. There's, I'm not gonna be able to get the camera in there, but there's still a little bit of that steel filler pipe that's poking through the tank wall, and it is not welded. It is not a steel filler material joining those two. It is brazed, and it would not weld at all. I tried just like stomping the foot pedal and just kind of blast tacking it, and it was, I had it on there. It was attached about halfway around, and I'm talking the tiniest of gaps that would never be a problem. Just a quick little blast tack if it was, steel to steel or stainless to stainless, whatever. And there was no penetration happening to the base material here. It was all happening in the stainless, and it was blowing the stainless out. It was a total shit show. 2 good whacks with a rubber mallet and it was back off. And then this thing's all warped up. I have, I don't know anything about brazing. So yeah, I was like, screw it. Lesson learned. I'll share this information with everybody else, and hopefully everybody else doesn't have to buy 2 tanks like I did. But that was my learning curve on this deal. As you saw, I'm tacked up, ready to go, and I'm gonna get to it. All right. So I got this rubber strip stuff. Came in a roll. I think it was 20 feet. I don't remember exactly. Maybe 10 feet. 20 is excessive. Just used some spray adhesive and an aerosol can, and got those glued on. We're ready to put the tank back in, and there it is. Once and for all, this freaking Blazer tank is in there, and it is done, and I'm happy with it. Filler neck is welded on. I don't know if you can tell, but I didn't realize the spray paint that I had was more like kind of a chrome replica, but at this point I don't care. I'm just glad it's over. I'm glad it's done. This thing fought me tooth and nail, start to finish, way harder than it should have been. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I learned quite a few things as far as what not to do. So yeah, this video, as well as the first video I did on the Blazer tank, I would not use them as a how-to, but more of kind of just sharing my experience. Blazer tank's in. The Walbro pump is on the sender. I've got my Earl adapters on the fuel pump. Even tried to make sure, pay attention to detail. Got my Tanks Inc. logo facing the right way. But that's it. It's starting to come together, slowly but surely. Ignore the mess. I acquired a nice air compressor yesterday, and I have no idea where to put it. So, yep. That's where we're at, folks. My name's Tommy Cheek. This is Cheeky Garage. If you like what I'm doing over here, LS swapping a 93 S10, give me a like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave me a comment, and happy Mother's Day to everybody. This video is probably going up a little late for that, but anyways, folks, until next time, y'all have a good one.